Hello, everybody. I'm live. Is my volume okay? Let me check my volume. It is brighter than it is normally. We're doing this at my laptop desk. We are taking this from my desktop. I'm having issues right now. I could not get my phone to work earlier for whatever reason. My phone is acting up again. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I'm good. I had some issues with my phone today, so of course it will be a chat today. I'm glad to hear that. I'm good today, except for my phone not working the way that it's supposed to work. It never wants to work the way. I seem to have a problem with my phone not wanting to be in the right orientation. I think what's going to be happening is I'm thinking about investing in a webcam, but I don't know what to get for the webcam because the way I'm set up at my desk is different than when I'm filming videos than when I'm on the thing. I think it's just something that happens at the end of every month that I can't seem to get my phone working correctly. As some of you know, this month has been Creative Haven Month. And next month for me, which I co-hosted with Anne and Sharon, Anne of A Colorful Life and Sharon of Sharon Sanctuary. I'm trying to remember that. So, hi, Lori. So it's different for me. I know that Kate is streaming right now. You know, I was actually supposed to go on much earlier. Hi, Elizabeth Zamora. So a lot of things, happen. So now we are doing a face-to-face. This is my backup when things don't work well with the phone. But I did get some stuff. So we did get a sketch box. So who wants to see what's in the sketch box? I know you guys, if you saw Anne's video, you know what's in this box already. So, oh, the chat went gone. That's the thing when you go with the computer, your chat suddenly disappears. So, you guys want to see this? Well, this is a subscription box, and the artist's name is Sanatana Fan Savannah. Sorry if I messed up your name, and it has on the back of it her name and things like that. So, this is my over there you see things that I was working on. Those are projects I'm working on. And in the far back is where I keep my markers. And then they give you the little cheat sheet, what's in this box. So that's the card that's in the box. Now they gave you these. These are the color brush markers. I guess these are nature's way of telling me. Hello, Tammy. How are you? I hope all is well. Tammy got in some hot water earlier this week in the Facebook group. So, I did make an announcement on my Facebook about what's going on in the community. So, you guys, those are my thoughts on what's been going on. So, just read that stuff on the Facebook group. These are the color brushes that are exclusive to the thing. And then they gave me a water brush. A water brush. So with water. Another one. Hey, Kim. So. They gave me another one. And then they gave me the sketch box. Little sticky thingy, which I can use as a bookmark. Then they gave me two things. This is my first ever Pip pen. I do not own any Pip pens, but according to Anne, these retail for about $4. So, and then they have this Aqua Pen Graphics, which is supposed to create translucent effects with your water if you want that. what does it say here? It is a watercolor felt tip pen. And then they have a brush tip on this end. And then on this end is the fine tip. So I'm not really sure. I guess this is nature's way of telling me that I need to work with some watercolors. So that was what was in that box. So that was what was in the sketch box. Some of you may have seen this in Anne's video, which I don't know what to do with this, quite frankly. I'm like, huh? What am I going to do with this, really? So that was what was in that box. As some of you know, I like to read and I have a book blog, but I am still working on writing a review. I'm working on a review for When the Stars Rise by Drew Williams. I'm still working on writing that review for my book blog, Books of Love. But I'm right now reading this book, Four Nights with the Duke by Eloisa James. It is a historical romance. I really, really enjoy Eloisa James. Whenever I'm in a rut with my reading, I always can rely on Eloisa James. Her writing is so good. I'm like, and I've read this much. I've read 146 pages in 3 days. So, you know, that's a good progress for me. That means this book is helping me get out of a rut. Oh, so, and then from my trial subscription, I got the new Strangeland special by from Color in Heaven. Maybe I need to move out a little bit so you can see the full size of the thing. So I got that. The sketch box was like $35. It's like $35. So, plus I can do some of these pictures again. You know, I have the Jasmine Beckett Griffith books, but some of these pictures I already did in the book, like here. Some of you may have seen that I did this picture recently, this month. So I can do it again in this book. So that was this month's book. So I don't know what next month is going to be until I see Color with Claire's book. So as some of you know, that this month concludes Creative Haven Month. This book is Country Charm. Some of you know that we were working in this book. I love this book. This book has some very pretty images in it. So you can make the eyes less creepy. I saw someone do something like, here's a picture that's in progress that I'm doing. This was done with Soho pencils. This I did on camera, I think, with Essential Monty Mart pencils and different pencil brands. We started off with Essential Marty Mont pencils, but then we worked with different pencils. This is one that I'm currently working on. And this is one that I'm working on right now. I think I've used Lyra's, Irritants, Polly's, Prismas on this one. This one I finished using Tombow Irritants for the water. For the water, I use the irritant pencils because I don't get to really work on my irritants all that much. And here's another one that I'm doing right now. So this is the Pot and Shed one. So I have a few works. Jasmine's images are beautiful. So, as some of you are wondering, next month begins Magical September. I have a box full of stuff that you guys can work with on this page. So I have a box that I have in my box. So what Magical September is a monthly theme. I'm not really that good with waters yet, Elizabeth. I've been using my Arteza brush tip markers. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture that I used them on. Here. Some of you may have recently seen this one. I used my Arteza watercolor brush pens on this picture and my Color It ones. What happened was the skin was a little too dark for me when I did the Arteza water brush pen on it. So what I did was I took a Prismacolor over her skin and I colored over it with the Prismacolor just to lighten it up a little bit. So that way the skin would come out a little bit better. And I used the Color It brush pens as well with this. So what I like about this book is that you can color in this book with a lot of different media in this one. This one was done with markers and pens too. So I don't get to use my Linda Ravenscroft's books as much as I would like to use that. But Magical September is a theme where I color different books from fantasy, anything that involves magic, fantasy, fairy tales. So it's any book that has magic or fairy tales in it. So this book would be more than acceptable in it, and Magical September. So it's a yearly thing. Hello, Joetta. So here are some things that you guys some books that you possibly can use for Magical September. The Lumina Chronicles. Here's a book called Grimm Fairy Tales. Now, this one is a little bit more racier than most of my other books that I have. It's a very adult-oriented coloring book. So if you like fairies, unicorns, dragons, here is my version of Cinderella. This is Cinderella, of course. So this was one that I colored a long time ago, and I think I did this with Prismas. Hi, Deb. Hi, Joetta. So this one has some really good patterns in it if you guys are looking for patterns and things like that. A lot of the Color in Heaven magazine specials you can take. Like here's some Fairies and Friends special. I have a lot of fairies and things like that. Do you guys want to see the finished pictures from September or not? Because I was thinking about making a video of that separately, but if you guys want to see that, we can do that. But that's just some of what you could use. Or you could use a book like Drum and Vega. I know some people have the Zemla Snova one. Like something like this book would be acceptable. This is a Sherry Baldy book. This is My Bestie's Enchanted Unicorns. So, you know, these are just some of the things that you guys could use for Magical September. Portrait of a Mermaid by Sarah Boyer. This is a pocket-sized book, but it's really, really cute. Like, I like everything in here. Like, this is a cute book. Yes, it's on Create Space Paper, but that really shouldn't matter because you can do beautiful things with Create Space Paper. Don't let the paper determine what you do with the book. So then you could also do a grayscale as long as it's fantasy-based. Like this one is the Molly Harrison one. This has some great pictures in it. Looking for a really good. The only problem I have is that some of the fairies come out really small. Do something like this, grayscale. Don't be afraid with grayscale, guys. Really don't, because grayscale is just another way of coloring. So don't let your fear of grayscale determine what you guys do. So do you guys want to see some of the pictures that I finished from September? Just going to put the box down there. It's different, Joetta, because all grayscale is different. You know, I find that depending on what you like to color, you will end up doing something different. It's not that grayscale is hard, but every grayscale is going to be a little different. Some people do darker grayscale. Some people do lighter grayscale. You know what I mean? When I was at Staples in the back to school section, I got a new binder. Some of you know that I put everything depends on the paper. A lot of times everything is on the paper. Oh, so a lot of what I do, so you guys already have seen the Creative Haven, what I finished in Country Charm and the Linda Ravenscroft books. So those two are done. So what I did was, every grayscale is going to be different. Also, guys, don't be afraid to buy digital PDFs of books in grayscale, because I happen to like buying grayscale books in PDF format because I don't always like the paper that it's on. I think the images are beautiful, so I go and see if that artist has the book in PDF format, because then I can print the images that I want to print, and if I mess up the image, I can always reprint it again, as opposed to when I get the books. Like now, Jade Summon's a little bit of a different exception, because you can, when you buy the book, you can get a digital version of it. And I did get the digital version of the new Jade Summer, the Life Fantasy coloring book, because sometimes it's hard to remember every book that you bought during the week, but for me, it is important. I got a new binder, so what I did with the new binder is I put all the completed pages up. So this is my color charts. So I put all my color charts, the finished color charts, in here. So I'll have some new stuff to put in the binder when I do more PDFs. Now, I did finish 2 pages. Now, some of you may have seen this image. This is from Fairy and Fantasy art by Molly Harrison. It is a really nice page, and I did this on cardstock. And this was a grayscale, and I did this with markers. So that I did with markers. This one I did this was Flowers of Fantasy by C.L. Aldridge. Now, some of you know that this was Anne's featured artist on her channel a few months ago. And I did this with gel pen and marker. So that was that one. So those were the only 2 that were PDFs that I printed out. So it would be an interesting thing to do. So I did that one in marker. Now this book is a big book. Now some of you may have seen this on Dee Dee's channel. This book is Mermaid Legends. This is a Russian coloring book. It is a mermaid book. Now, if you are thinking of participating in my Magical September, this book would be absolutely perfect. Guys, so I'm going to flip to the pages that I have done in this. I used a lot of mediums in this book. I think I used, what did I use? Fine liners, the staple ones, the Tombow irritants, the polys, the prismas. And I think I may have used my Lyris in this book because I just liked the way it came out. Oh, and this one I wrote down what I used. See, in this picture, I actually bothered writing what I used. So this one, I like this one. So I used Prismacolor pencils, Gel Writer, and Arteza gel pens, and Lyra Polycolor pencils. Now, the Lyras are really an interesting pencil because they work really well on some books, and some books they don't work well on all unless you're layering them, unless you're doing layering. And as a layer pencil, they work better than a straight pencil. So if you're looking for pencils that layer, those work very, very well. I'm going to put my binder away. Sorry, guys. Then earlier to yesterday, I finished something from Akiko. This is from Surreal Fantasy. This is a grayscale coloring book, and I got into this because of Anne. So that was that one. It is a little hot. It started raining a little bit, so I did do some. I actually did a little grocery before it started raining. So, and as some of you know, this is Jennifer Stay's Original Bliss, Volume 2. Now, this book is exclusively marker paper. So this is what I call my marker book, which means I use nothing but my markers on the pictures in this. So this is, sorry guys, I just have to go where the orange little tabs are. The orange little tabs help me know what I'm doing with this one. This one I did in a lot of different colors. I was just playing one day with them just to see what they were going to be like. Do they bleed through? Yes. Even though this is marker strip, but if you have a blotter, what I love about Jennifer Stay's books is that she includes this little blotter page, so you can color that. In this one, I literally did a pink, purple, and blue challenge. So the challenge was to color in 3 colors, and the color challenge was pink, purple, and blue. So this is what I chose to do with pink and blue. And then I wanted to test my Color It brush pens on this paper to see if they worked. And they worked extremely beautiful, guys. This was done with my Color It water brush pens. I wanted to see how they would work on this paper, and they worked amazingly well. If you want to see how well they work, look. No bleed through on them whatsoever. So the brush pens will work on this paper. And then I was just feeling playful one day and just grabbed whatever colors I could. And I did this. That worked really pretty. Sorry guys, I'm just putting this stuff. Sorry guys, I have to put everything in piles so I know when I put everything back where everything belongs. And then we have another Akiko book. I love this book. As you probably have seen, a lot of people are coloring from this book. This book is Elegant Faces by Akiko. So this one I did in markers and some pencils, and I used some Holbeins for the shading. And I mixed it in with my markers. So I like this here. I like the red very much. So then you've probably been seeing people use the pan pastels. This one I did in marker and gel pen with a little bit of a white Posca pen thrown in. By Elizabeth. Hello, Giovanna di Basi de Costa. So, then the final picture that I colored was this one. Now, this one was done with markers as well. So those were 3 things that I did by Kiko. The next one I did was a Chinese coloring book. This is from Lost You Forever. It is a Chinese coloring book. It is, you can buy these on AliExpress, but warning guys, when you buy books on AliExpress, they do come damaged. So I bought this one on Etsy instead and decided to go a little higher with it. But these images are beautiful. I love the images in this book. And I'm looking for the one that I did here. This one I did in Prismas and irritants. Now, the thing with this paper is it does not like your polys. It does not like your lyras. I mean, it did not like my polys. It did not like my lyras, but it liked my Prismas and it liked my irritants. So, for some reason, it takes certain paper. This book takes certain paper, pencils, and not others. So, and you have to remember the thing with the irritants is that they are harder like pencil. So keep that in mind. Now, an old one that I don't color in too much in is Lenoir Lembourg. This is a Japanese version. This is not the Dutch version. I forget who was showing the Dutch version of this earlier. Zargo was showing the Dutch version of this. Now, I did one of these for Shalene's Porsa for August. And this is the picture that I chose to do for this one. This one was using Artezas, polys. Yeah, Artezas, polys, Prismas, and some Staedtler fine liners. So the Artezas work very well with the polys and Prismas. Just the color combination. You can get it on regular Amazon, Joetta. Now, some of you, I think, Joetta, you can get the Monhair Lembourg book on either Amazon or Amazon Japan. I think Amazon has a link to it where you can purchase it. But I'm not sure if regular Amazon has it now or not, because when I bought it was on Japan, on Amazon Japan. But you can also buy it on regular Amazon now. That's what I was told anyway. So this was one that we started on stream, but I finished it off camera. Now, some of you helped me with the color combination. I want to thank the person who decided to tell me to do a black background, because it made the image pop a lot more when I added the black background to it. Oh, I put a gold fine liner on it. So that really was one of my favorite pictures that I did this month. We started that one on camera. Now this one, I'm kind of disappointed because this book, the pages keep falling out of it. This one is called When I First Saw You. It is a Korean coloring book. You can buy this off of Etsy. So the picture that I finished, I'm just going to take this out, was this lovely 2-page spread. So you can guys just see how big the page spread is. I used Artezas, polys, Prismas, and irritants in that. Hey, Deb. How are you? So that's that one. We're going over my finished pages for the month of for August, but we also talked a little bit about Creative Haven Month and how next month on the channel and in the Facebook group is Magical September. What that is, it is a fantasy themed, a fantasy and magic theme. So any pictures that are fantasy, colored theme, etc., will be that one. So This one is a watercolor book. This one is called Christie's Floor Garden. So this one I did with my Color It water brush pens because I just wanted to test them on other watercolor books. So that's what I did with this one. You know, I like to test my products and see how they look and do that one. So that one was done with water brush pens. And this one was another grayscale book. I must have had a thing with grayscale this month. This one I did all in pencil. This is grayscale and pencil. Now I did this one entirely with Dick Blick pencils. So everything was done with pencils. You can do grayscale and pencil, but it just takes a lot of patience and just being careful and following the lines. This book, now this picture was another picture that I'm particularly proud of. It is Art Over Manners. Now I did the base in marker and then I did the rest in pencil. So I could go over it with pencil. Now, I don't necessarily always recommend doing this, but if you're skilled enough, you can do it. I like the way that it came out. Just going to show you that. So I laid down the base. I used the pencil to fill in whatever white spots were left. So that's what I did there. Now this one I also used my Color It water brush pens. It didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to turn out. I was just playing with my water brush pens because I wanted to see how they would work. Sometimes you play with the picture just because you're new to the medium and you just want to see how the color is going to lay down. And that's why I tried to do something in the back of the book rather than in the front of the book because I didn't want anything messing up. And if you look at the back page of it, nothing went through. Now, some of you know this artist is going to be our artist, the artist that I'm featuring in November. This is Halloween by Marjorie Rubio. Now, he's going to be our featured artist in November for this channel. So this is his Halloween book. So I decided to play with this and be. This was done with brush pens as well, and some pencil work and some marker work. So I kind of used 3 mediums in this one. I just wanted to play a little bit with everything. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up because that helps us with the viewership. What's the nice thing about his books is that they're all perforated. So if you want a picture framed and you really like how a picture came out, you can tear them out and frame them if you wanted to. Go lay down, Tammy. This is when I got my Color It water brush pens. And I went into the Color It books. This is Colorful Scriptures. This is Colorful Scriptures. It is a Color It book. It's about scriptures, and I used the water pens in this one. So I wasn't very good at them at first. So you know what they say, practice makes perfect. Have a great weekend, Tammy. This page, Joanna, this is a fun page to do. You have the Color It water brush pens. They're a lot of fun to work with. Because I like that they're refillable. A lot of pens are not refillable. Hello, Sabrina. The next page I have is from Color It's Mythical and Fantasy. And this too, I use the water brush pens. This is a little baby dragon. As you guys can tell, I really worked hard on this one. I like doing this page. This was all done with the Color It water brush pens, guys. So it is a cute image, isn't it? This book. Plus, if you guys are looking for a good myth and fantasy, a good magic book, I recommend this. It is a really, Color It has some really great books. They're not a lot of money. Well, some people don't like that they have raised their prices with the books, but I think their books are great value. Plus, you get like 50 images. A lot of times you can't even get 50 images for a good price in a book. And some people say, yes, you can, but guys. The next book is a page from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Now, I'm doing this in order, guys. It is a storybook, so I am coloring the images in order in this book. So this took me a while to do. I did this in gel pen, pencil, fine liners. Because when you're doing a story coloring book, sometimes it's better to do them in order. So I like the way this one came out. You guys can't really see the glitter, or maybe you can a little bit because I did use some glitter gel pens in this and some metallic ones. But I just like the images. But the thing with Johanna is sometimes I have to stop doing her books because they take so long to do. So sometimes I'll start a project. My name is Grace, Sabrina. The next book is Magical Fairies by Marjorie Sarna. Now, some of you know that I did a clip through of this book on my channel. This book is mostly fairies. It's a really pretty book. I saw somebody was Zucchini Kitty worked on an image in this book with her distressings. It was really beautiful what she did with them. Now, this picture takes care of three challenges. Goes for my Creative Haven book. It can go for my Zoe Archer's Fairy Color Along, and then it can go also for Porgus because it has the cat from Shalene. So this was done with, I think, 4 different brands of pencils and gel pens. So it was done with Artezas, Lyra Rembrandt Polycolors, Prismacolors, and my irritants. I've been using my irritants a lot more. I like the way they lay down. The cat is cute, yeah. This was the hair from the humans, so I thought that was, yeah, all of her books are great, CL. I thought that was a good book. Hi, Locket. Now, here is Mermaids Coloring book by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Now, I did this all in marker. This was all done in marker. This was done with the brush pens. I don't remember if these were done with my colored brush pens or if these were done with my Artezas. But because I didn't do my skin, I didn't lay down the brush pens correctly for the skin, I had to fix the skin with the Prismacolor pencil. I seem to use my light peach pencil a lot when I work with my skin tones over my marker just because it's the easiest pencil to blend it with. So that's what I used. This was all markers. Not markers, brush pens. And as you can see, no bleed through like that. If you use markers in this book, they will bleed through. So yeah, the hair was my favorite thing to do in that book. The next one was from Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy by Hannah Lynn. I did this one with pencils. I don't remember if I think I used my Soho pencils in this and my Prismas. I seem to use my Prismas in a lot of my pictures. Very rare that I don't use. Hi, Laura Bean. Hi, Lindsay. The next book is Linda Ravenscroft's Fairy and Fantasy Art, Book 1. I love this book. Now, some of you saw me that I was testing a lot. I used this book a lot. I was using this picture to test different mediums on for water when I did this. So I used markers, gel pens, pencils, brush pens. Thank you, Lindsay. So I used a lot of different pictures on this book. A lot of different mediums on this picture. So this was like a tryout picture. Hi, Elizabeth E. So that one was a... This one was markers. This one was done entirely in markers. I forget. This one was all markers. I forget what I used. This one was markers and brush pens. I remember that because this green was marker pen. Yep, she's on a mushroom. And then we tested some of you remember this because we did this one on a live stream. We were testing out the Arteza water brush pens on this. So this one was done entirely on live stream, guys. So some of you remember this. Hi, Sam, Mantha. Now, this is one that... How is the Arteza gouache? I'm not familiar with what gouache is. If someone could explain to me what gouache is. Now, this is from the beautiful Chinese Princesses Coloring book. This is book number 2. So, this I did with gel pen. And I forget what I used for the dress. But I did color this with several different pencils. So, probably use Prisma for the skin. Now, this is a picture I struggled with because this did not like my Sohos. This book did not take my Sohos very well. It likes my Prismas, but it does not like my Sohos. It likes gel pen. Artezas are a very good pencil for the money. They're really good. And I hope they come out with the 120 set. Now, this was Mermaids Coloring book by Barbara Lanza. This was a Creative Haven coloring book. Now, this one, some of you remember, we did this one entirely with thick flick pencils, and we did this on stream. So this one we did on live stream this month. This was what it came out looking like. So you guys really helped with this picture a lot. This picture was from Creative Haven, Summer Scenes coloring book. This has... It is, if anyone is wondering, it's pronounced gouache, and you probably because it's fun to say. Now, this was the house that I did with Tombow Irritants and other pencils. So That was a fun book to color. Hi, Rita Brown. This one I was trying to do it in 4 colors, and I don't think I did too well with the 4-color theme here. This is from Tillsman by Hannah Carlson. This is a collection basically of all her faces. This doesn't sound bad. Matisa has some very affordable products for not a lot of money. This was Tillsman's. So I did this with Prismas, Polys, and gel pens. And the orange leaves, I did that with Prismacolors. I blended that with 2 or 3 different Prismacolors so I could get it to look orange and poorly light. So that was what I did. Oh no, the stream. The chat went away. Why did the chat go away? I can't see my chat. Then I did this one in Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces. I actually had seen somebody else color in this book, and then I got inspired to do a page of my own. And I did this one, but I don't remember what I used to color it in. Probably my Prismas. And then I went to Maui Mermaids by Hannah Lynn. I used Schrift Farben pencils and Prismas in this. Now, as some of you remember, I submitted this for a contest. This was actually finished last month, but because it was on the borderline of last month and this month, I actually submitted this for contest, and that's how I ended up winning the Rita Berman book. So I probably work on my pictures more than most people. Now, what I did here, now this is a book that I don't work on too often because, yes, it is a Johanna Basford book, but it is one of those books that I actually am 50-50. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. So this is Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford. The thing that I like the images, but I don't like how tiny some of the detail it is on this book because it can be. So I did this with the Color It water brush pens and some gel pens. Yes, it was a 2-page image. The problem with this book is that all the pages seem to fall out or they buckle really easily. And even though these are water brush pens, they do bleed through. You may not be able to see the bleed through, but it does bleed through. Right. They have some bleed through here and there on certain parts of the page. So I don't know why it does that. Same thing here. So it does bleed through a little bit on the page. So really, the UK version of them has better paper. No, I didn't finish anything from this book. And I will take jewelry box as a thing. Here's something that we're working on, right? Some of you remember this because we're working on this. So if you guys want me to finish this page, I will finish it probably. So. And then if some of you remember, we did this page as a tribute page to Katrine from Always Coloring. This is the unicorn from Daydreams. I like the... So this is the unicorn one that I did dedicated to Katrine. And then Sarna Oak Sarna is the final page in this, is the final thing in this one. And we did this page. I think I did this with Tombow Irritants and Prismacolor pencils. I tell you, the Tombows complement the Prismas with palette, sometimes with more muted colors and sometimes with brighter colors. So this one is Sarna Oak Sarna. Her books are nice, but they take... Rita, I will tell you that I love Johanna. I really do love her books, but here's the problem. Sometimes I get tired of coloring leaves. I love flowers, I love leaves, but sometimes I need... Sometimes her books are very detailed, and, you know, sometimes I don't want a detailed picture. Sometimes I just like coloring simple things. So, you know, everybody's pictures are different. That was what I colored this month. I was a mean and lean coloring machine this month. I did a lot. So, you know, I did get some stuff from Staples, but it wasn't art supplies. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like things. Like, I got more. And the other thing I got into was these little sticky things from Staples. You know, the little Post-its, so I can put them more. They're not all similar because they're different. The Christmas book is very different from Johanna, as opposed to, let's say, all my coloring books are very similar. I don't think all my coloring books are very similar. So, I think... Okay, guys. Time for giveaway time. Giveaway time. So I'm going to meet the mod squad here. We have 17 people. So I am giving away Shadowscapes coloring book by Stephanie Poonam Pui Monlaw. So I saw Anne do this in her stream. So she did this in her thing. The images are really beautiful in this book, but I'm not going to have time to color in them. This book, I really do like this book. It has some really beautiful pictures. So now I want nobody to enter a number until I tell them go, okay? So we have 17 people here. So 1 to 20. And I will come up with... Yes, Price is Right rules without going over. This is what Anne did in her book, in her stream. So 1 to 20. First person to say the number, but don't type in the number until I say go. We're doing 1 to 20. So 1 to 20. So I'm going to type in go, and whoever gets the number, the closest. And then the mods are going to tell me who said what number. If two people say the same number, whoever said the number first will do it. So mod squad is ready. USA only. Get those numbers in. The numbers on 1 to 20, Joetta. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. 2 more minutes. 1 to 20, Joetta. Joetta went over the number. Come on, 1 more minute, guys. I want to make sure everybody has a chance. 1 number, Karina. So no, your first number will come, Karina, not the 2 numbers. Yes, 1 number only. And stop. So mods, tell me who won. I have the number here. The number is 15. So whoever was closest to 15. So tell me, mods, this is where you come in to help me. But I don't think Lori is U.S. Lori, are you at U.S. or are you international? Okay, my mods are saying it's Lori. Lori, send me your address. Okay, you are U.S. Okay. So Lori, email me at ladygrace@roth.com and put in winner of Shadowscapes book, and then I will mail out your prize on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how bad the line is at the post office, but I will send it to you. Congratulations. You have won. So every once in a while, I do give away a prize. I wanted to try doing this on a live stream like Ann did. So what have you liked this month about everything, you know? You know, this was an interesting month with a lot of things happening and a lot of color alongs and things. So I am going to tell you, as far as I know, this month, after this month is over, I will be having a slideshow. I will be putting together a Creative Haven slideshow for all your subscriber picks that you do on the Facebook group. Plus, I'm going to try and get July subscriber pictures done because I didn't get to do that either. Really? The next thing is that September, I know Anne is having Jennifer's Day. I am doing Magical September. I know Sammy is doing a fantasy one. Camping sounds like it's a lot of fun, Laura. So, camping is fun. I used to go camping and do a retreat when I was very young with my school. We would have, every grade would do something different for their retreat. But when you reached like 7th or 8th grade, you got to do more advanced camping, like more adult stuff. So that was always fun. I remember going upstate New York and camping when I was young. So Lori, just email me that you won the Shadowscapes book, and I will send that to you next week. But I am doing Magical September in September. October, I am not doing anything. It is a free month. God, that would be terrible, Laura. October, I'm not doing anything. This month was interesting because we had a lot of different color alongs. Plus, there was a lot of stuff that happened, guys. If you've been reading the Facebook group, and it includes anything magical, fantastical, fairy tales, magical September, you can color anything from Fabiana, I will take. Dramen Vega or Zemlos Nova is very much a fantasy coloring book. You could do that. I will even consider Kirby's books magical or fantasy based if you want to get technical. Anything that has magic in the title, like I will take Johanna's Enchanted Forest. Yes, Corinne, I do live videos on Fridays and Saturdays. Today my phone was not playing well with me, so we did a face-to-face. So sometimes what I do once a month I do a face-to-face chat, and so fortunately enough for me, I did a face. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that, Samantha. It's a very emotional time for you to just. It doesn't make the passing any easier. It doesn't, Last year when I lost my grandmother, that was very hard. It was a very hard time. It's very hard when a loved one passes. It's not an easy thing to lose a family member. I think, death is a terrible thing. It's okay, Sammy. There was a lot of drama this month too. I don't want to badmouth anybody because that's not who I am. I don't want to badmouth anybody. I just tell people, be careful when you're dealing with new people in the community. It's not what I do on this channel. I want this channel to be about positivity and other things. Also, this morning I couldn't get my internet working for an hour. That's true. And I said my piece about things on my Facebook group, but Anne did it so much better than I did. She did that thing on her Facebook group, and I think what she did was lovely without, I don't think posting certain things about people's past or what's in their personal lives is appropriate either, because some of you may have seen what went up, and even though I understood what this person was trying to do, I didn't think it was very nice. I thought it was. I think, what it is that people forget that when you come into this community, that we all know each other. We all support each other in one way or another. We all know each other. We all talk to each other. We all converse with each other, whether it be on our YouTube channels or our groups. And some of us have formed very close friendships outside of the YouTube channels and the groups. And we talk amongst ourselves, so we know everything that goes on with each other. And I don't think it's appropriate to ever say something that is inappropriate because we may not know everything. That's going on. When people come into a community as close-knit as ours, and I love that about our community, that our community is very close-knit. that we're gonna defend each other. We're gonna have each other's backs in this community, regardless of what people do, whether it be good or bad. And one thing I want to say is that I want us to look for the good in the community, not the negative. You will always have, no matter what you do, you will always have people there will always be a bad apple. You can't let that ruin everything else for you guys. So, that's all I'm going to say on the issue, because I said what I needed to say on my Facebook group. I just thought I'd add a little bit to it because it was brought up. I don't think that necessarily we're sorority. It's that I think that some of us have been doing this for 2 years. So we know each other. We've formed friendships, and those relationships don't happen overnight. Those relationships, when someone says that we're sorority, I don't like the comment sorority. Because when I think of sorority, I think of mean girls who bully each other. And that's not what we are. But it has a negative content for some people, Laura. I think when that comment got made that we're like a sorority, I don't think that's a fair thing to say. I think thank you. I think I think a lot of people don't understand that we know each other for a long time, and we know. I like that colorista color stud stroke. And people have to try and remember, when you're new, you don't just build a channel. People who, I think it was based on something more locking, and I don't really want to go. I think we are inclusive, I don't think that sorority comment was based on jealousy. I think it was based on other things going on at the time. So keep that in mind when you use that comment. That's right, Corina. It shouldn't. Everybody in this community is wonderful. Lori, when the stream is over, I will approve you to join the group. I think one of the things that people don't like, when you build a channel, when you first start a channel, you get really excited by doing it. I think people really have this idea that a channel just is like, boom, it just is going to happen automatically. And a lot of us who have channels and have bigger channels and smaller channels, we've taken a lot of time in developing our content, making those friendships, making those relationships. These things don't happen over time. These things happen over time. They don't happen instantaneously. And the other thing you can do, if someone has hurt you, bye, Lori. Bye, Karina. But when someone has done something to hurt you, you shouldn't go and do something equally mean, because two wrongs don't make a right, I was taught. Plus, you give this person airtime. Take away the air from them. Don't be doing things that are crazy, because you may start something even bigger that you don't need to start. I think it's very hard. We try to be inclusive of new people. I try to be more open to people. But when I see people that I know are getting hurt, I feel bad, because they've allowed, because a part of trust has been damaged. And not everybody is like this. But it takes time for people to trust again after they've been betrayed. You can't just do things without thinking about them. You know, when I started my channel, I had a old flip camera. You know, and then as the channel evolved, I bought more things for it. You know, I bought a real video camera, and I bought other things that I was going to need. You know, so you know, people think that starting a channel is easy, but you know, when you have a channel, it's also work because you got to come up with content, what you want to do on the channel, and then you know the other thing is also there are new supplies and new things coming out, so you also have to budget what you buy on the channel too. So I just want people to think about what they do. Starting a channel is a huge commitment of your time and energy. You know, I spend a lot of time on doing this. I would say I probably spent about oh my God, I'm so sad to see that you're having seizures. You know, it's and then you go, what do you want to color today? Are you in the mood? Or if you're not in the mood, you know? And then sometimes we get sick and and then we can't do things. You know, drama is going to happen in any community. That's just simple. We know it. We've had a few bad eggs. And there are a lot of wonderful people in this community. You know, there are a lot of people who are very supportive. I love watching everybody's channel. But sometimes I find it hard to make everybody's live streams because I'm working. And the reality is that the reality that I've come to accept is that I'm not going to always be able to catch everybody live. But doesn't mean that I won't watch them back when I have the time to watch that live stream. Yes, Samantha has a channel. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Joetta. You know, it's like everything happens for a reason in life. We can't always please everybody. And I learned that a long time ago about my channel. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, as Jen would say. And if I'm not your cup of tea, go somewhere else, because I'm sure there's plenty of other channels that don't talk about their lives and do this or that. You know, it is always different things for different people. So, you know, thank you, Laura. But I'm just saying that sometimes people don't. But I think, you know, we have to deal with things coming in, and we are getting bigger. You know, everybody is different in the community too. I like also that we are a diverse bunch of people. You know, the community does get bigger, and you know, I would like to think that we are inclusive. We try to be inclusive of everybody until something happens. But sometimes, you know, we're all human beings, and we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So, you know, I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So, guys, thank you for the stream, and thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm really happy that you guys came today. So, if you have liked this stream, give it a thumbs up, and happy coloring, everybody.